So this stand was named in 1928 officially the Spion Cup. Standing, it had 28,000+ fans. Okay, a lot more than 28,000 would stand here over the years. Now, Phil, you stood here as a fan, and then you were on the other side as the captain. So what was your first game in front of the club?
The first game was against Arsenal here as captain. I can't remember my first game that I played here, but it was just a sensational place. I used to stand just behind you there. It says Block 205. Me and my brother Owen used to stand there. He used to give me, he used to get £3.50 a week wages when he was 15, and he used to give me 50p of that each week. And one week I'd save it, the other week it was to come the match, and I used to get in at 12:30 then to come in the match. It was not like it opens now. I think it's like an hour before it. This was 12:30 to get your spec, and I'd have to save it because he'd work Saturday mornings and come up about 1:30. So I'd stand next to the barrier. They were higher than this, and I just used to stand here like that with my programme, keeping a slight area for our kid up there. But I didn't start off there. I started off in the boys' pen up in the top corner, paying about a shilling to wait outside and to get in there with all the little scallies to go and stand in there. But I didn't stay in there because the daft people had a drain pipe in the corner. So you used to scale the drain pipe, jump in, and the stewards would have to chase you, and you used to get in the cop. But you couldn't tell your mum that you'd stood in the cop when you were younger, because that was it. But at the age of 13, when Owen and myself were in here all the time, it was a fantastic place, and it was a thriving mass. But you used to be in here, and if you got caught, and you got caught in front of the barrier, and you'd be here like that, because I'd have my space, but you never ever stayed in that same area. You would go, and you would all fall forward, and you'd fall to the sides, and then you would end up, and all of a sudden there'd be a little arc in front of the barrier in front of you, and you'd go, how did this happen? Why am I now the next one? And as soon as the push came, you went, and you were hanging over the barrier like that. And you just used to have to wait until it subsided for you to get your breath. I've seen people turn blue on the cop. And I kid you not, they did literally. Some people fainted. Now, how, when you're in the middle of 28,000, do you get out of the cop? Right in the middle, up there. You used to pass them over the top of the heads. You know, like you see the flag going along like that and people passing over. We used to have bodies, and they'd roll them from the middle of the cop, and you'd see them, and all you'd hear is man over the top. Not Tommy Smith, this, by the way. It was man over the top, and he would get past and he would roll. Good job they were unconscious, because then they could easily fall, and the paramedics, St. John's ambulance at the front would take care of them. But that was everybody stuck together, and that was a ritual in here. So we had all kinds of things. We used to have a young lad who used to come along the front, and he'd have a tray, you know, like you go to the movies, and he'd have a tray and he'd have ice creams. Well, this lad used to have like sorts of Mars bars and Beach's chewing gum. Anybody ever? Wrigley's chewing gum. And this lad, after a couple of years, he honestly could have been a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. Honestly, he had a right arm like that, like Desperate Dan's. But he used to come along here, and he'd go like that, and people up there on the cop, they go, Wrigley's, and he'd go, yeah, we're still Scousers, and he'd say, throw your money. So they'd have to throw the money down first, and that guy would pick it up like that, and he'd just go like that, he'd go, like that, and the fella would go, Dick, thanks. And another fella over there with a Mars bar, he'd go, and he'd go, thanks. And he'd be chucking all this chewing gum and Mars bars all over the cop. Wow. It was a fantastic experience. So to come from here, standing in the middle of the cop, to playing, you can imagine how surreal that seems to do it. And I actually went not only to do that as a 15-year-old kid, or, you know, from about 10 or 11 being in here, to then be a manager doing what Shanks did for Liverpool Football Club. So it's quite eerie. But for me, guys, being on here was all about the song You'll Never Walk Alone, which for me was a battle cry when I was on here as a fan. After 1989 at Hillsborough, to me, is more emotional. Like I was singing it again on Saturday, and it brings back all the memories, and I do get choked every time I sing it, and you shouldn't do, or you should, but it's just the memories. But You'll Never Walk Alone is quite, and I think there's about 7 clubs who actually have it as their anthem. We know Celtic has it, but other clubs, Germany,
Dortmund.
I was at the World Cup of 2006 in Germany, and I'm watching semi-final, Italy versus Germany in Dortmund, and I'm there, and I'm like that. I'm sitting there with this agent, and I'm watching the match. And right at the end of the game, Italy had beaten Germany, and they were absolutely devastated. And just as everybody's getting up to leave, and the players are swapping, just starting to walk, all of a sudden over the tannoy, when you walk through a storm, I turned to this agent and I went, they know I'm here. And he went, no they don't. They play it after every game here at Dortmund. And I went, oh God. But it was fascinating to be in another country, and they were playing our anthem, which I think, without doubt, is the biggest and best anthem in the whole of world football. So
your journey's like probably the rarest, isn't it? Because you were in the Kop as a fan, when as a schoolboy, then played the captain, then became a manager. There's like probably no one else who's done that, is there?
I don't think there would have been, but to go and do all that, to be a fan, Boys Pen,
You've seen Paddock,
Anfield Road, you've been everywhere, but then as 15 to go and understand, and it's something which I obviously take very much to heart, and being a Liverpool fan, and I know even on Soccer Saturday it comes out. Anybody watch Soccer Saturday? It's good, isn't it? That Jeff Stelling gets me wound up. Did you see him? Call him Joe on Saturday. I don't know where that comes from. Tell a little story. On Saturday, Alan McAnally, Paul Mason had been here, had been sick, and so Alan McAnally stood in, and we're there and he eats this ham sandwich, and he's eating it when we're in one of the breaks, and he's sitting there next to me, and he's gone, and I looked at him and he went, and I went, I said, what's the matter? And he stood up and he went, and his eyes were bulging, and he'd got something stuck in his throat. And I'm like that, looking at him, and I've got hold of him, and I'm sitting this side of him, and I've gone whack in the middle of his back. He was like that, looking at me, but his eyes were bulging, his mouth was, and I thought, oh my God, this fella's dying in front of him. So I whacked him again on his back. Next thing, this white, like the size of a marble, came out of his throat, and it was being in this sandwich.
Wow.
So there's a motto to it. Is don't ever eat out of the canteens in Sky. But he did. It was the most frightening thing that had happened. That just happened on Saturday. You just reminded me, by the way. But I did call him. I called Jeff Joe. But it was a fantastic show, and I was so into it because Hull, when they were watching, and I'm there and I'm doing the Watford game, and when the final whistle went, I said, those players at Hull now, they can be really happy because they've been relegated. Being promoted. I was all over the place. Anyway.
Alright folks, well, no longer is it 28,000 of course, it's now 12,500 here in the Kop. Goes back 76 rows, still create a great atmosphere here at Anfield most definitely. But have you enjoyed the tour?
Oh yes.
Because we're now at the end now, unfortunately. We get to go around with them again later. Okay, but I hope we have enjoyed it and learned a lot more as well about what's gone on in the history as well, and things that you probably have. But you may have been there for one or two of the games that Phil has been talking about.
Has any of you ever stood on the Kop? No, we got a couple of guys actually stood on the Kop. No, not sort of the seats now, because it was a fantastic occasion that you came here. It was.
We came to our first game on Sunday, the derby, sat over here. We noticed that everyone's seats, except for the Kop, they stood for the whole.
The big games they do. The big games, you know, for the, and whether it's right or wrong, and as people say, there should be safe standing. As far as I'm concerned, never. I don't think there can ever be. Nobody can ever say safe standing, because from what happened at Hillsborough, I would never ever want to see another life pass because of bad surroundings or whatever. And so let it be on somebody's head if they put a little small section and he say it's safe standing. And I know there's some Liverpool fans who think that way. For me, never ever.
But we also went week before to the Newcastle game, and that was our first game. Great. And we stood for the fan section. We stood for the whole match. It was amazing.
That's good. It does make for the atmosphere, and I can't. But at least while people stand in between, it's not as. But I would rather them sit down. I still think it's the same people as the people what made the atmosphere. So, but no, not to go back to standing. I'm afraid.